All right, so for the prior knowledge check on this, it's having you plug in 5 for the x. So we're going to have y equals -2, and we're going to put the 5 in place of the x, plus 3, like that. So that's going to be y equals -10 plus 3. So that's going to be y equals -7. And then if you wanted to write out the whole point, we're just going to take it that one extra step just because that's how we're going to write it today. So we know x is 5, y is -7, so we're going to write the point 5, comma, -7. All right, for this one, it gave us y equals -3, so 2x plus 4, and we're going to plug in the y of -3. All right, 4 times -3 is -12, so 2x minus 12 equals -11. And add 12 over to the other side. 2x equals 1. Divide by 2. So you just get x equals 1/2. So that point is going to be x comma y, 1/2, or 0.5, comma, -3. And then this one, y equals -1. So we're going to put the -1 in for the y over there. So -2x plus 3 stays. And then just solve. So do -3 on both sides. -4 equals -2x, and then divide. So x equals +2. So that point xy is going to be 2, comma, -1. All right, and then the next one, solve the system by graphing. Did you get a solution? Why or why not? So this first one is in standard form, so I would typically use intercepts to graph that. But when I try to do set it up, so do for the x-intercept 3x equals 14, then divide, you get x equals 14 divided by 3, which is a repeating decimal. So it's 4.67, so 4 2/3 basically. So I mean, if you want to, you can try to do your intercepts like that. The only other option would be trying to get this into y equals mx plus b form. So if I try to get this to y equals mx plus b form instead, so 4y plus 3x equals 14. So I move the x minus 3x. 4y equals -3x plus 14. Divide everything by 4. I'm going to get y equals -3/4 x plus 14 divided by 4 is 3.5. Oops, sorry, I couldn't see that. All right, so there's the work for that. So this seems like it's going to work out a little bit better. So it's just I have to plot my y-intercept at 3.5, which kind of sucks. But that's okay. So 3.5 is halfway. And then down 3/4. Right there. Okay, so that's going to be this line. And then for this one, we have, so I'm going to write, so this is going to be m equals -3/4, b equals 3.5. And then for this line, we have b equals -3, and then m equals 2/1. So at -3 start, and then positive 2/1, up 2/1. Okay. So when we're looking at the intersection point for this, it's just kind of between a bunch of stuff. It doesn't look like it really crosses at a good, clean, whole number spot. So that kind of highlights why we have 2 other methods that we're going to learn today. So we're going to, or not today, but this unit. So we're going to learn the first one today. But these two methods do not involve graphing, so we're able to get like exact answers using like solving equations in algebra basically. So this method is called substitution. So your objective is students will be able to solve systems of equations using substitution. So this method you basically use when one of your variables is solved for or it can easily be solved for. I pretty much only ever do it if one of my variables is solved for. So if I have x equals or y equals already done, okay? So an example of that would be like this one, because you have x already solved for in one of them, so it's x equals, versus this one where you don't have an x equals or a y equals, and you also couldn't really easily solve for it, okay? And then no matter what, even though we're not going to be graphing today, all of our answers are going to be where our lines would cross on a graph still, right? So let's go on to this. So here are your steps, but I'm just going to kind of go through the steps. Those are just for reference after we're already done. So here's what you're pretty much going to do. You're going to start by finding x equals or y equals, figuring out what that equals. And kind of keep reminding yourself of back in this warm-up, we had x equals 5, so in place of the x, we put 5. We had y equals -3, so in place of the y, we placed a -3. This is going to be the same thing, it's just not going to be only a number. So we have an x equals, or no, we don't, we have a y equals. So y equals right here, and what y equals is x plus 3. Okay, so just pretend like that says y equals 1, and you're just putting a 1 in. Okay, we're just putting something bigger than that. So take your other equation, 2x plus 2y, and we're replacing the y with what y equals. 2x plus 2. And then in place of the y, you're going to put what y equals, which is x plus 3. And don't overthink it. If that said y equals 1, you'd put a 1 in those parentheses. It's the same thing. It's still what y equals. It's just more stuff. And what this is going to do is it's going to make it to where you have all the same variables so that you can solve. So here, and we're going to distribute the 2. So 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 3 is 6. Combine like terms, 2x plus 2x is 4x. Minus 6. 4x equals 32. Divide by 4. So you get x equals 8 for your first solution. And remember, our solutions are all points. So I only have the x coordinate of my point. So here, I have 8 comma something. Now, in order to figure out what the y coordinate of your point is, you are going to take your x value and you're just going to pick one of these two equations that you had at the beginning to plug the 8 into. Pretty much the one that's already y equals is always going to be the easiest. So I have y equals x plus 3. Plug in the x, which we now know is 8, which gives us y equals 11. So your point's going to be 8 comma 11. So for the godits, go ahead and be like pausing the video, doing them, and then picking back up. But I'm just going to kind of continue. So for this next one, we have a y equals, and y equals 3x. So let's take our other equation. X plus y is going to go in there. So that's where we're going to plug the 3x. Because that used to be y. So think about like y and 3x are interchangeable. Any place there's a y, you're allowed to change to 3x. So now to solve, combine like terms. That's going to be 1x plus 3x is 4x. And then divide. X equals -8. And then pick one of them to plug it into. I'm going to use the y equals 3x. And we now know x is -8. So y equals -24. And if you're not sure, do what we did in 5.1 and practice plugging it in and checking it in both equations and getting a yes. Okay? All right, problem 2. We have a y equals on the bottom. So y is going to equal x minus 2. So I'm going to plug that in. 3x minus y equals 6. So notice I'm putting parentheses because I'm plugging something in for y, and also because I see that there's a subtraction sign coming in front there, and so you're going to need to not just like be placing stuff in. Okay, so I got my y in there. This acts as like a negative 1 that you have to like now distribute. So negative 1 times x is negative 1x. Negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2. Combine like terms, 3x minus 1x is 2x. And then keep solving, so minus 2. 2x equals 4. Divide, so x equals 2. And then pick one to plug it back into. Either one works. I'm going to use the bottom one. Y equals x minus 2. And my x is 2. So y equals 0. So your solution is 2, 0 for that one. So you won't always get x first. Sometimes you'll get y first. And you'll just make sure you put it like x, y in the point. Okay? Next one. So on the got it, we have a y equals, and y equals x plus 3. So that's going to go in for the y. So 2x minus y equals 7. And in place of the y, put x plus 3. And remember, that's like a negative 1. Negative 1 times x, negative 1x. Negative 1 times 3, negative 3. Combine like terms, 2x minus 1x is just 1x, or just x. Then all you have to do is add 3. X equals 10. Then I'm going to use the bottom one here. Y equals x plus 3. X is now 10. So y equals 13. So your solution is 10, 13. Okay. Next one, we have, both of them have an x equals. So you're just going to pick one. I'm going to pick this one right here, the bottom one, the 3y. So that means in the top one, for x, I'm just going to put that. So in place of the x now, we're going to put 3y. And then solve. So I'm going to add the y over. 3y plus 1y is 4y. And then divide. So y equals 2. And then plug it into either one. I'm going to use the bottom one. X equals 3y. X equals 3 times y, which is now 2. So x equals 6. So your solution is x, y, 6, 2. All right, for the got it, you have both y equals. So I'm just going to do the bottom one. So up in the other equation, the y is going to get replaced by x minus 1. And then solve. So 2 minus 2x. So I'm going to be negative 1x minus 1 equals 7. Add 1. Negative 1x equals 8. And then divide. So x equals negative 8. Sorry. There we go. And then plug that into either one. I'll just use the bottom one. Y equals x minus 1. X is now negative 8. So y is going to be negative 9. So the point's going to be negative 8, negative 9 for that one. All right, for this next one, we do not have an x equals or a y equals. So, and typically you wouldn't do substitution then, but if you had to, you're going to try to figure out which one's the easiest variable to get by itself. So if you look at the bottom one, it has just a single y, that's like a 1y, so that one's going to be the easiest one to try to solve for. So to do that, I'm going to add 2x to the other side. So y equals positive 2x minus 3. Which is now what we can use to go in for y in the other one. So 3 times y plus 4x equals 14. And in place of y, put 2x minus 3. All right, distribute 6x minus 9 plus 4x equals 14. 6x and 4x is 10x. Then plus 9. 10x equals 23. Divide by 10. X equals 2.3. Just making sure that's right. Yep. Okay. So then you can plug that in for the x in, you can use your new one if you want to. So y equals 2x minus 3. All right, for x, we got 2.3. Okay, so then when you put all that in, you get 1.6 for y. So your x, y point should be 2.3, comma 1.6. All right, moving on. Okay, so for the got it, I would have solved for this x right here. So I would have done minus 3y. And gotten x equals negative 3y minus 7. Or you could do negative 7 minus 3y if you want, but we just put the variable first now. Okay, so up top, we're going to have 6y plus 5. And then the x is going to go in there, equals 10. And then we plug it in, negative 3y minus 7. And then solve that. So we'll distribute 6y minus 15y minus 35 equals 10. That, 6 minus 15, that's negative 9y minus 35 equals 10. Add negative 9y equals 45. And then divide, so we get y equals negative 5. And then I'm going to use my new equation. X equals negative 3y minus 7. So put the negative 5 in for y. It's going to be 15 minus 7, so x equals 8. So the solution is going to be 8, comma, negative 5. Okay, last two. So this one, you have an x equals, so this negative 2y plus 4 is going in for x. 7 parentheses plus 14y equals 28. So in there is going to go negative 2y plus 4. And then distribute and solve. So that's going to be negative 14y plus 28 plus 14y is 28. Okay, then you would combine like terms. Negative 14y and positive 14y make 0. They cancel. So you end up with 28 equals 28. And the same rules apply as normal equations. So since that's true, your solution is infinitely many solutions. Okay, and then this one for the got it. This top one, we're going to need to solve for the x. So we have 9 equals x plus 6y. So we'll do minus 6y. Let's just rearrange this. So we're going to have an x equals. We know it's going to be negative 6y. We know it's going to be a positive 9. So that's what's going in for x. Okay, so we have 20 minus 2x, so 2, and then keep it open, equals 12y. So you're plugging in negative 6y plus 9. Okay, distribute. Negative 2 times negative 6y is positive 12y. Negative 2 times 9 is negative 18. Combine like terms. 20 minus 18 is 2. So 2 plus 12y equals 12y. Then you would subtract 12y over to the other side. And they all cancel. So you end up with 2 equals nothing, so 2 equals 0. Since that's false, your answer is going to be no solution. Okay. And then here are the lesson check problems. And I'm going to just put the answers up, and then you guys can ask on Monday if you're not sure if they're right or not, okay? Or if you know they're not right, but you need to go over them, then ask me on Monday and we can go over them. So number 1, let me pull it up. You should get 3,5 for your solution. Number 2 is no solution. Okay? So if you're not sure how to get those, then just make sure you ask on Monday. All right?